सकारात्मक सोच को आओ सारे भारत में फैलाए, सकारात्मक ऊर्जा का आओ सब में संचार कराए। ऐसा ना हो कि हम अपनी जिम्मेदारी भूल न जाए, क्यों इंतजार करें हम किसी का, आओ एक मशाल जलाए। सकारात्मकता के उदय का चलिए हम उद्घोष कराए। RJS जय हिंद के नारों से अपना देश जगाए, RJS वंदे मातरम से सारी सरकार जगाए।
Namaskar, Adab, Sat Shri Akal. A very warm and gracious positive morning to all. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फलेषु तु भूः मार्ते संगोत्सव कर्मणि। भगवत गीता के श्लोक का अर्थ है कि हमें कर्म करने का अधिकार है, उसके फल की इच्छा रखने का अधिकार नहीं है। इसका अर्थ यह नहीं है कि हम कर्म करना बंद कर दें, बल्कि इसका अर्थ है कि हमें फल रहित कर्म करना चाहिए। इस श्लोक का बहुत सुंदर उदाहरण RJS PBH ग्रुप और अवेयर कंज्यूमर मैगजीन है, जो कि सकारात्मकता के प्रचार प्रसार के लिए कृतबद्ध है। I want to thank to the technical team of RJS PBH for the live broadcast of this event on RJS Positive Media YouTube channel. Yes, I hope I am clearly audible, sir.
Yes. Go on, please. Please, Dr. Jyoti.
Thank you.
Dr. Jyoti, go on.
You are not only clear and audible, but you have started with a very beautiful note.
Thank you.
Congratulate you for that.
Thank
and
you.
I must tell my participants, my friends who have joined, that we started with our anthem, which people may not know. You know, the first part of our program is everybody joins in to join the anthem. So the anthem was sung at the background before Jyoti ji came, and then Sone Mein Suhaga, Jyoti ji added value to that anthem. Jyoti ji, please continue.
Thank you so much. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you will start having positive results. With this beautiful quote given by Winnie Nelson, I, Dr. Jyoti Tiwari, Assistant Professor, Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida, warmly welcome you all to this special online event as we commemorate the World Consumers' Right Day 2024. Today, we gather to delve into the topic of immense significance and the theme of World Consumer Right Day 2024, Fair and Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Consumers, organized by Ram Janaki Sansthan Positive Broadcasting House, where our motto is Positive Media, Positive India, and co-organized by the Aware Consumer magazine. Before we delve into the topic, let's take a moment to acknowledge the efforts of Ram Janaki Sansthan Positive Broadcasting House, an organization dedicated to spreading positivity through various events and initiatives. Over the years, they have been instrumental in organizing sessions that inspire hope, foster understanding, and promote positive change in our society. Today marks their 240, and we are honored to be the part of their journey as they continue to make a difference into our lives. In the world where you can be anything, be kind and be positive, let positivity be the lens through which we approach today's discussion as we explore the boundless potential of fair and responsible artificial intelligence. I invite Mr. Praful D. Seth, Vice Chairman, Patient Safety and Access Initiative of India Foundation, PSA IIF, and RJS PBH Observer for opening remarks and welcome address. We are delighted to have you on board, sir. Over to you, sir.
Jai Hind. Once again, greetings from Ram Janaki Sansthan and Positive Broadcasting House, New Delhi. RJS PBH has been propagating positivity and Sakaratmak Soch in society for the last 9 years. Shri Uday Manna, the veteran senior broadcaster of Akashvani, is the founder and national convener of RJS PBH to spread positivity and only positivity in society. Last year, more than 250 physical and virtual webinars, podcasts, and about 9 tours pan-India were held. This year, so far, 213 programs have been completed, including a 10-day tour of vibrant Gujarat and 2 volumes of compilations in the form of Granth, Volume 1 and 2, based on all the programs have been released and distributed to prominent universities, libraries during these visits. This year, RJS PBH plans to go international, making its maiden foreign trip. So welcome to Amrit Kal Ka Sakaratmak Bharat. These are the series of programs as always on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. Today's episode is the 214th, as Jyoti ji mentioned, being held on the occasion of the World Consumer Rights Day. The theme of the program is Fair and Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Consumers. In the past 12 to 18 months, articles, discussions, and on AI and machine learning have been regularly appearing in media and have raised several alarm bells inquiring what good AI can bring to society. The Aware Consumer Magazine's March 2024 issue is based on fair and responsible AI for consumers. I sincerely request you to subscribe to our magazine if not done already. Ever since the media started reporting on AI, there have been several concerns. Loss of jobs, ethical aspect of AI algorithms, biasness in information privacy and transparency, and confidentiality, which are highlighted. These are early days, and AI robotics, movies, chat GPT, and deepfakes are prominently discussed. So let me ask 5 questions. Is AI boon or bane? Often asked question. Is AI boon or bane? Should we ignore it or welcome it? Should we ignore or welcome AI? अनदेखी करें या स्वागत करें? Will AI make our life better or worse? And finally, will the information derived from AI fair and responsible? So these are 5 questions that I have in my mind, and as Jyoti ji made very good opening remark and drew our attention to Geeta. I have that occasion to do it at 7:15 in the morning with Bijanda. I've been doing it for last 10 years, sharp at 7:15 in the morning. So I had posed this question. I said, I'm not convinced about AI because I keep hearing about loss of jobs and all that. He convinced me. Now, how he convinced me, I'm not going to tell you, but I leave it to him today. So we transform, you know. We are told that along with challenges, AI will also bring huge gains. Indian PM Modi has mentioned that AI is the most significant intervention upon time and podcasts and promises to be more disruptive than arrival of the internet. Minister of Information Technology Ashwini Yadav says there are concerns about IPR, copyright, bias of algorithm when it comes to platforms such as ChatGPT. On the other hand, a passionate proponent of AI, our minister, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, says now we can make data available in split of a second. Sundar Pichai of Google says India is already using AI to collate open source speech data of 800 Indian dialects. Many others see usefulness in early detection of healthcare issues like tuberculosis, eye diseases, and discovery of new drugs. I just heard about 5 days ago another expert saying that every AI intervention will create 5 more jobs. It will have a domino effect. Let's understand all these things. So today's webinar is to address during our Amrit Kal challenges posed by AI and how AI revolution will improve quality, accessibility, and productivity of processes and help us to resolve our doubts and fears and lead the way from Shanka to Samadhan. Shanka to Samadhan. To help us understand this next revolution, we have invited experts. Today's chief guest is Professor Bijon Kumar Mishra. He is international consumer policy expert and RJS, whatever you call him, Pran maybe. No strong, and he really deserves no introduction. He constantly encourages us to march ahead and take newer challenges. Today's keynote speaker is Mr. Sandeep Raut. Sir, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
He's a leading global digital thought leader, and he's advising how to set up digital strategy. I believe he has to leave a little early, but I hope that Sandeep ji will give as much time as he can spare with us. Sandeep ji, we look forward.
Sure, sir.
Dr. Abhilasha Gautam is away, and we have equally competent personality in Dr. Jyoti Tiwari.
Thank you, sir.
She's an expert in higher education, higher learning. She's attached to the Army Institute of Education, and I look forward to your intervention, Jyoti ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable words and setting the tone for the event.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I also would like that to say, I would also like to say that there are several new faces here, and I may not be able to identify all of them, but as we progress today in the program, I'm sure that we will be able to identify some new faces, both nationally and internationally, who will be present with us. As always, I request the participants to keep the dialogue bilingual as far as possible, so as to help our English-speaking members. Thank you. Vande Mataram. Back to you, Jyoti ji.
Dhanyavad, sir. Thank you for your valuable words. In today's digital age, where AI is becoming increasingly integrated into our daily lives, it is imperative that we discuss how it affects consumers, the principle of fairness and responsibility that must guide its development and deployment. With these lines, it is my profound privilege to introduce today's keynote addressee, Mr. Sandeep Raut ji, founder and CEO of Going Digital. Mr. Sandeep Raut ji is a leading global digital transformation thought leader and influencer who advised organizations on how to set an attainable vision and digital strategy. He also assists businesses in reshaping their digital transformation culture. With over 35 years of expertise in IT strategy, consultancy and delivery, Sandeep sir has built the BI, big data, analytics and digital transformation practices for the ground up. Sir is the founder and CEO of Going Digital. He is also a member of various advisory boards of MBA schools. We are grateful for your virtual presence, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I would definitely say that I am really honored to stand before you today and discuss one of the most transformative phenomena of our time, which is explosive growth of AI. I mean, our generation, as we all know, has seen a lot of innovations, right from audio tapes to USB drives. But AI is one of the topmost kind of innovation, I would say, where we are now, as सर ने बताया कि whether it is a boon or bane, हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. But obviously, when industry 2.0 started, जैसे फोर्ड साहब ने फैक्ट्री चलाना चालू किया था, गाड़ियां, फोर्ड की गाड़ियां बननी चालू हुई थी, तभी लोगों ने पूछा था, अरे हॉर्सेस का क्या होगा, हॉर्स कार्ड्स का क्या होगा. इफ कार इज देयर, व्हाट विल द हॉर्समैन विल डू. सो सिमिलरली आज भी हम लोगों के दिमाग में वही एक बड़ा सा सवाल है कि व्हाट विल हैपन टू जॉब्स. And obviously, as in this 35 years of IT experience, I have spoken in various seminars or digital summits, I keep telling that there will be some different jobs which will come up with the artificial intelligence. You may not be doing the same mundane job or same repetitive job. जो हर कुछ सेम तरीके का काम करना है, वो हम लोग रोबोट को दे सकते हैं. बट जहां पे दिमाग लगा के कुछ डिसीजन मेकिंग करनी है, वहां पे अपने ह्यूमंस की ताकत ज्यादा उभर के आएगी. सो ऑब्वियसली दैट इज वन मिथ, आई वुड से, बट वन ऑफ द मोस्ट feared term, job loss. Obviously there will not be there, jobs will be there, and people will have multiple different kind of strategy jobs coming up in this and coming up years. Maybe by 2015 we will have altogether different flying vehicles. अभी तो ऑटोनोमस व्हीकल्स आ ही गए हैं, ड्राइवरलेस कार्स जहां अमेरिका में वगैरह चालू करते हैं, लोगों ने ऑलरेडी ट्राई किया है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली अपने रोड पे ट्राई नहीं हो सकता है, बिकॉज काउज एंड मैं कैट्स एंड साइकिल वाला, all of these people are there. But eventually this will be the future where people can just get out of window, just sit in your flying vehicle and head to some destination via drone or whatever that vehicle may be. We cannot even visualize right now, but that's how innovation happens. And that's where AI comes into picture. And I think this has happened because of the availability of data. Earlier, अगर हम देखा जाए 20 साल पहले, हमको अगर कुछ टीवी लेना होता था या फोन तो तभी थे ही नहीं, दूसरा कोई फर्नीचर वगैरह लेना होता था, तो हम अपने दोस्त से पूछते थे या घर में रिलेटिव्स से पूछते थे कि क्या करना चाहिए, व्हाट शुड आई बाय. But today you have a supercomputer at your fingertips. Mobile phone है, you have Amazon, you have Flipkart, you have so many different variety of things by which you can analyze कि मुझे कौन सा टीवी लेना चाहिए, उसके फीचर्स क्या है. तो आपको इतना नॉलेज हो जाता है कि वो जो स्टोर्स में बंदा खड़ा है बेचने वाला, उससे भी ज्यादा आपको पता हो जाता है. So that's the reality. With the AI, consumer has become a Superman. And that's where the line from Spider-Man comes into picture. With great power comes the great responsibility. क्योंकि अगर ये इंफॉर्मेशन और ये इंसाइट जो भी एआई से निकलते हैं, वो अगर बड़े तरीके से और अच्छे तरीके से नहीं यूज किए, तो ऑब्वियसली देयर इज अ डेंजर. एंड जैसे शेठ सर ने बताया, उन्होंने अच्छा समराइज किया, पूरा का पूरा एक्चुअली वेबिनार उन्होंने ऑलरेडी समराइज कर दिया था. बट जैसे बोला जाएगा कि अगर ये गलत लोगों के पास गया तो ऑब्वियसली देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. जैसे अपने बॉलीवुड के फेमस विलन्स हम लोग अगर ले, गब्बर सिंह है, मोगैम्बो है, या whoever, if they start using AI, what will happen? Gabbar Singh doesn't have to ask कब है होली, isn't it? Just bringing some kind of humor. But yes, it's absolutely essential to be very fair and have some kind of guidelines for the artificial intelligence to be used. And that's where many people like Elon Musk or Bill Gates or even our Prime Minister Modi has talked about that, yes, it has to be governed. There has to be some governance of development of AI. क्योंकि अभी चैट जीपीटी सर ने पहले ही एक मेंशन किया था, किसी भी चीज के लिए आज आप चैट जीपीटी के पास जा सकते हैं. आजकल गूगल में जाना लोगों ने बंद कर दिया है, बिकॉज गूगल में आपको 15 से 1000 पेजेस तक का डेटा मिल जाता है, आप कुछ भी सर्च करो। Whereas ChatGPT gets you a quick answer and which is one answer. So people have started going to ChatGPT, and that's where Google also got scared. And they created their own AI chatbot called Bard. Now it is called Gemini. So ये सब हो रहा है। एंड ऑब्वियसली इसकी अगर हम लोग एप्लीकेशन देखी जाए तो ऑब्वियसली इट विल मेक सेंस। जैसे हेल्थ केयर सर ने बताया, ड्रग डिस्कवरी, अपनी जो वैक्सीन 2019 कोरोना की आई, 1 साल में वैक्सीन बनाना ऑब्वियसली इट्स वाज अ इम्पॉसिबल टास्क, बट यस अपने साइंटिस्ट ने कर दिखाया। एंड उसके लिए अगर एआई की मदद ली जाती है तो जो काम हम लोग 10 दिन में कर सकते हैं कि रिसर्च के पेपर्स पढ़ो, उनमें से कुछ समराइज करो, उसका कुछ अर्थ निकालो, इंटरप्रेट करो। आई होप आई कैन स्पीक इन हिंदी ऑल्सो, राइट?
Please. Yes, bilingual.
थैंक यू।
Sandeep, you can even speak in Oriya.
I wish I can. I'm actually Maharashtrian, not.
Oh, you are a Maharashtrian. Acha, I thought you are a Raut from Odisha. Okay.
Yeah. I wish I would learn that from you. I mean, definitely try to do that later.
Thank you.
बट ये जो मैं बोल रहा था कि अगर इसकी अच्छी तरीके से इस्तेमाल की जाए तो ऑब्वियसली हमारे लिए अच्छा होगा, आगे आने वाले जनरेशन के लिए अच्छा होगा। इनफैक्ट आज के स्कूल में या अमेरिकन में भी कई स्कूलों में चैट जीपीटी को बैन किया गया है, बिकॉज इट इज किलिंग द क्रिएटिविटी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स। अगर मुझे कुछ करना है तो अगर कुछ क्विज दिया गया या कुछ थोड़े से सवाल पूछे गए, तो विदाउट थिंकिंग स्टूडेंट्स एंड इवन कॉलेज गोइंग स्टूडेंट्स दे रियली गो टू चैट जीपीटी, बिकॉज दोज एप्स आर अवेलेबल। अगर चैट जीपीटी फ्री में नहीं अवेलेबल है तो देर आर टन्स ऑफ अदर एप्स अवेलेबल विच आर सिमिलर। जनरेटिव लैंग्वेज AI model which has tons of information, and the power of cloud has bring this ability. जैसे availability of data was the first thing, the cloud computing has helped is furthermore। क्योंकि पहले मेरे लैपटॉप में सिर्फ 1 टेराबाइट का हार्ड डिस्क है, इट्स अ टेक्निकल थिंग फॉर सम ऑफ यू, बट 1 टेराबाइट का हार्ड डिस्क है, मतलब उतना ही डेटा मेरे लैपटॉप में रह सकता है। बट इफ आई गो टू क्लाउड देन आई डोंट हैव एनी लिमिटेशन। जैसे अपने डीमार्ट है या बड़े बड़े स्टोर्स है, अमेरिका में वॉलमार्ट है, मैंने बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स ऐसे एआई पे किया है। तो जहां पे वॉलमार्ट को एक दिन का डेटा कंज्यूम करने के लिए और अल्गोरिथम बिठाने के लिए 7 दिन लगते थे टू डेटा एनालाइज दैट डेटा। उनका स्लोगन क्या है? एवरीडे लो प्राइसेस, वॉलमार्ट का, जो अमेरिका का सबसे बड़ा सुपर स्टोर है। तो दे यूज टू टेक लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू क्रंच दैट प्राइसिंग, एवरी डे उनको नया प्राइसिंग देना पड़ता था। उस वक्त के जमाने में द आइडिया वाज ऑफ एनालिटिक्स वाज टू गेट अ सैंपल ऑफ डेटा, कि आपके करोड़ों थाउजेंड्स रिकॉर्ड जो है उसमें से कुछ 1000 रिकॉर्ड आप ले लीजिए और उसके ऊपर एल्गोरिथम बिठाइए एंड देन रन अ प्राइस एल्गोरिथम, कि आपको एक प्राइस मिल जाए। बट विथ क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग नाउ it is easily possible because you have the power, you have the memory power, you have the hard disk power, and everything is there. So they can run the pricing algorithm overnight, and next day they have flash new prices. So that's the ability cloud and availability of data has given to all of us. And then comes the AI. These algorithms now, they don't have to rely only on the samples. जैसे सर ने बीच में बताया बायस ऑफ डेटा, राइट, कि मुझे अगर सिर्फ 30 से 40 साल के लोगों का डेटा दिया गया तो मशीन विल लर्न ओनली फॉर दैट, है ना। उनको मशीन को समझ में नहीं आएगा जब तक उनको वैरायटी ऑफ डेटा ना दिया जाए। सो इंस्टेड ऑफ सैम्पलिंग, नाउ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन बिजनेस कैन टेक entire amount of data and create algorithms on top of it. So your AI model becomes more robust rather than having some overfitting। जैसे ओवरफिटिंग हम लोग किसको बोलते हैं, कि हम लोग एक ही तरीके का डेटा अगर मैंने मशीन को दे जाते हैं तो मशीन वही समझने लगता है। जैसे बचपन में आपने को माँ ने सिखाया कि एक ऑरेंज को ऑरेंज कहा जाता है, एप्पल को एप्पल कहा जाता है, उनका कलर, उनका टेक्सचर, उनका कॉन्टोर सब कुछ अलग है। बट अपने को कभी गलती नहीं होती है कि ऑरेंज को हम लोग एप्पल नहीं बोलते, बट मशीन ये गलती कर सकता है अगर उसको अलग इमेजेस फीड की गई। So to select or identify apple as an apple, machine has to go through thousands and millions of images. So ये अगर full data machine को ना दिया जाए तो ये biases create होते हैं, क्योंकि then machine will think whatever data it has. मैंने एक काइंड ऑफ वीडियोस देखी थी कि मशीन को जो प्रोग्राम दिया गया है उतना ही करते हैं, रोबोट्स जो हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, राइट? आई होप आई हैव सम टाइम, राइट, टू टॉक हाउ मच
Please go ahead. Very interesting.
Okay, so machines only work on the algorithms or the instructions we give, human give to the machine. अभी तक उनको वो एबिलिटी नहीं आई है कि वो खुद का कुछ क्रिएट कर सके या राइट कर सके. सो दैट्स स्टिल इन द बिगिनिंग स्टेज. सो एक मैंने ऐसा वीडियो देखा था जहाँ पे एक आदमी एक पैकेट उठाता है और अपने कन्वेयर बेल्ट पे रखता है और वो पैकेट आगे जाता है, आगे प्रोसेसिंग के लिए जाता है. सो एक रोबोट आता है और वो आदमी वो रोबोट को पूरा प्रोग्राम कर देता है, एंड देन रोबोट स्टार्ट्स वर्किंग द सेम थिंग. इट पिक्स अप द पैकेट, कीप्स ऑन द कन्वेयर बेल्ट, पिक्स अप द पैकेट, कीप्स ऑन द कन्वेयर बेल्ट. नाउ रोबोट को उतना ही काम है, बिकॉज दिस इज अ रिपीटेटिव काम. ह्यूमन अभी फ्री हो गया. नाउ दैट ह्यूमन हैव मोर ways to apply his thinking and do whatever productive improvement he can think of. सो वो जो सुपरवाइजर है वो बाहर निकल जाता है, बट एक वर्कर को गुस्सा आता है ये देख के कि मेरा काम चला जाएगा अभी. तो वर्कर आता है और वो पीछे से रोबोट को लात मार देता है. नाउ रोबोट गिर जाता है, बट रोबोट फिर उठता है, वापस पैकेट उठाता है, वापस कन्वेयर बेल्ट पे दिखता है. वापस वर्कर को गुस्सा आता है, ये तो मेरा काम कर ही जा रहा है, तो मुझे तो अभी जॉब चली गई. तो वर्कर आगे से आता है और रोबोट को वापस एक धक्का मार देता है. अभी रोबोट वापस गिर जाता है, बट दैट रोबोट अगेन गेट्स अप एंड इट अगेन डज द सेम जॉब कि वो पैकेट उठाता है, कन्वेयर बेल्ट पे डालता है, बिकॉज उसको कुछ दूसरा सिखाया ही नहीं. सो दिस इज ओवरफिटिंग और डूइंग द सेम जॉब, मुंडेन जॉब, और कुछ करने का नहीं. बट इमेजिन जैसे वो रजनीकांत के मूवी में, इफ रोबोट स्टार्ट लर्निंग और मशीन स्टार्ट लर्निंग आवर इमोशंस, कि ये वर्कर का जो गुस्सा है वो अगर रोबोट के सामने भी आ गया, दिमाग में भी आ गया गुस्सा, तो व्हाट विल रोबोट डू? वो वर्कर जाएगा कि नहीं कन्वेयर बेल्ट पे? बिकॉज द मशीन हैज द पावर, मशीन हैज द एबिलिटी टू डू एनीथिंग. सो बेचारा वर्कर कन्वेयर बेल्ट पे चला जाएगा. सो टिल देन वी आर सेफ, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस आर थिंकिंग एंड टॉकिंग अबाउट कि वेदर एआई सेफ और नॉट. सो मशीन्स आर सेफ और नॉट. और वो अर्नोल्ड श्वार्ज़नेगर जैसे हम लोगों ने बहुत सारी मूवीज देखी है जहाँ पे दिखाया गया है कि फाइनली ह्यूमंस आर टेकन ओवर बाय मशीन्स, एंड इट्स पॉसिबल इफ इट गोज इनटू द रॉन्ग हैंड्स, लाइक द विलन्स. बट देयर हैज टू बी सम गवर्नेंस एंड देयर हैज टू बी सम kind of control over this AI, artificial intelligence. So that's the point I would say here. And multiple risks are there. Obviously, जैसे सर ने बताया, bias of data. अगर data availability बराबर नहीं है तो data का bias हो सकता है. Then उनको applicability कैसे किया जाए वो एक problem हो सकता है. Algorithmic bias हो सकते हैं. Then उनको challenges बहुत सारे आते हैं. Challenge बोलेगा तो interpretability, क्योंकि ये जो चीज है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, वो इंडिविजुअल्स कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड. जैसे हम लोग, मैं जब हेड था कंपनी में, तो जो भी हम बनाते थे एल्गोरिथम, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस या मशीन लर्निंग का, उसका जो आउटपुट है वो एकदम कॉमन मैन को समझे ऐसा हम उसका आउटपुट दिखाते थे. क्योंकि everybody is not a PhD in data science or analytics, isn't it? हम लोगों को जो समझेगा, जैसे डॉक्टर कुछ बोलेंगे वो हर किसी को नहीं समझेगा, वैसे ही चीज है एआई का. जो एक्सपर्ट है, जिसको मशीन लर्निंग आती है, जिसको ये सब एल्गोरिथम्स पता है, देयर इज अ न्यूरल नेटवर्क, देयर इज अ ट्री, मल्टीपल टॉप 10 algorithms which are based there. If everybody doesn't understand, there has to be some way to explain them in a very simple manner. That's the idea of the person who is managing or governing that AI. And obviously then developers जो है उनके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रोल होना चाहिए कि वो बराबर फेयर प्रैक्टिसेस अंदर डाल रहे. और मूवीज में तो हम हर जगह देखते हैं कि गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दे दी तो रोबोट विल स्टार्ट डूइंग. हीरो 6 करके एक कॉमिक मूवी आया था. अभी माय डॉटर्स यूज्ड टू वॉच कार्टून मूवीज अर्लियर, सो आई वॉच दैट मूवी व्हाइल ट्रैवलिंग ऑन द फ्लाइट टू यूएस. तो उसमें एक चिप यानी एक चिप डालता है वो उसके जो रोबोट के अंदर, एंड मे बैक करके उसका नाम रहता है। तो वो जैसे ही वो रोबोट को अच्छी चिप लगती है तो वो हेल्थ केयर असिस्टेंट बन जाता है, बट जैसे ही गलत वाली चिप अंदर जाती है वो एकदम डिस्ट्रक्टिव बन जाता है। सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट हाउ यू ट्रेन दीज machines. If you give good information, they will provide good for us. The output will be good for us. If we give bad information of Ukraine war and this war and dange and fasad, so obviously they will learn only that and they will start doing things. The only challenge is if they start taking control, and that will happen only if they understand our emotions. सो इमोशंस अगर जब तक उनको लर्न करने का एबिलिटी नहीं है कि हम क्राई कर सकते हैं, हम हंस सकते हैं, हम हैप्पी हो सकते हैं, हम सैड हो सकते हैं, तो मशीन्स जब तक ये लर्न नहीं करते हैं तब तक वी आर सेफ। दैट्स व्हाट माय पॉइंट इज। सो आई वुड सबमिशन, दैट्स माय सबमिशन हियर एंड आई विल हैंड इट ओवर टू यू ज्योति मैम।
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for your sharing your expertise, insight, and experience with us today, sir.
Sure.
Your contribution have added immense value to our discussion, sir, and we are truly grateful for your valuable time and commitment for this important cause, sir.
No problem.
सर आपने बहुत ही सुंदर तरीके से टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के बारे में हमें बताया कि यह सब इसके इस्तेमाल पर निर्भर है। ये वरदान भी साबित हो सकती है अगर इसका सही तरीके से इस्तेमाल किया जाए। और ये लोगों का कोई भी नई जब टेक्नोलॉजी आती है तो लोगों के मन में बहुत सारी आशंकाएं होती है कि ये उसी तरह से एआई के भी बारे में लोग कह रहे हैं कि ये क्रिएटिविटी को किल करेगा या जॉब्स का लॉस होगा इससे। लेकिन ऐसे जैसे कि हम पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट, अगर हम इसकी पॉजिटिविटी के तरफ ध्यान दें तो हम इसका सही इस्तेमाल कर पाएंगे। तो थैंक यू सो मच सर।
जैसे एक मैं ऐड कर सकता हूँ इसमें, अभी नया जॉब उभर के आया है प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग। चैट जीपीटी को प्रॉम्प्ट क्या देना है, ये एक नया जॉब उभर के आया है कि मैं लिख सकता हूँ कि आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड हाउ कैन बी यूज फॉर बेटरमेंट ऑफ द ह्यूमैनिटी। ये एक जो आप लिख रहे हो या कमांड दे रहे हो मशीन को, ये सिखाया जाता है, इसको बोलते हैं प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग। And now this has become a topmost job. Earlier, data scientist was the topmost job of the century, ऐसा बोला जाता था, because algorithm से data निकाल के crunch करके उसका output दिखाना was one of the topmost thing. But now prompt engineering, chat GPT and all other AI machines, where you actually instruct the machine to say something and summarize something. Now many users are also there. Sorry, I am again taking some time. But legal companies are using AI for understanding all the legal documents. Instead of every document they have to go through, they can just feed those documents to the AI and ask them to summarize with a case कि बाबा इसका क्या होना चाहिए, how should we put this case forward. So this is one of the thing happening nowadays. हेल्थ केयर में जैसे सर ने बताया, ऑब्वियसली मैंने खुद वो प्रोजेक्ट्स डिप्लॉय किए, रिस्क और आइडेंटिफिकेशन कि आफ्टर 35, obviously in corporates we used to ask people to go for annual medical checkup. That was compulsory in corporates कि 35 के बाद कुछ ना कुछ चालू होता है। आजकल वो भी जमाना नहीं रहा, 20 साल से भी कुछ ना कुछ चालू हो जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ द स्ट्रेस। ये जो प्रेशर में दिमाग पे है, जैसे 3 इडियट में आमिर खान बोलता है, वैसे वो प्रेशर का बहुत ज्यादा असर लोगों के ऊपर हो रहा है। एंड 35 एज अ एज हैज कम डाउन टू इवन 25। पीपल आर स्टार्टेड गेटिंग वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दिस टेक्नोलॉजी। सो ये करने के लिए जो है कि अगर हम लोग वो प्रॉपर करें तो बहुत ही अच्छा होगा उसका। एंड उसके लिए ये हेल्थ स्कोर का हमने एक प्रोजेक्ट डिप्लॉय किया था, जहाँ पे after 20, what is the possibility or predictability that you as a person may develop a diabetes, may develop hypertension, may develop cholesterol, triglyceride, जो नॉर्मल चीजें है आदमी के शरीर में चालू हो जाती है 30 के बाद, वो कब से चालू होने वाली है वो आपको बता देता है। There were more American companies or healthcare companies who also detected when are you getting a heart attack. तो पहले ही आपके घर के बाहर एक एम्बुलेंस आके खड़ी है, अरे आपको हार्ट अटैक आने वाला है, वो सुन के ही आदमी को हार्ट अटैक आएगा। There was also there was also a big story, but when that was way back in 95 or something, one of the major superstore in US, they also do this AI and machine learning algorithm on all the purchases. हम लोग जो परचेस करते हैं वो सुपर स्टोर से, वो हर दिन वो डेटा एनालाइज करते हैं और उसका इस्तेमाल करते हैं कि हम लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छी सेवा कैसे दें ग्राहकों को। कि जब आप एक तरीके का सामान खरीदते हैं तो आपको उस हिसाब उस सामान के ऊपर ज्यादा डिस्काउंट देना या आपको कुछ कूपन देना, सो यू बिकम अ लॉयल टू दैट सुपर स्टोर। दैट्स व्हाट देयर आइडिया वाज। एंड दे ऑल्सो यूज टू इंटरप्रेट कि ये डेटा से लोग क्या खरीद रहे हैं। So one day they found out that one of the lady customer is buying some medicines which are really taken into pregnancy. And the machine predicted that customer is pregnant. So they said, अभी तो हमको ग्राहकों को एकदम अच्छा सेवा देना है. So they actually sent a flower bouquet and something good to that lady house, saying that congratulations, you are pregnant. But that actually misfired. Because that girl's father was not knowing that she is pregnant. तो and ये रियल स्टोरी है, मतलब आप न्यूज में सर्च कर सकते हैं। तो उसका बाप वो स्टोर रूम में गया, मतलब वो स्टोर पे गया और उसने बड़ा हंगामा किया उनके मैनेजर के साथ कि आप कैसे बोल सकते हो मेरी बेटी प्रेग्नेंट है, आपको कहाँ से पता चला? मुझे नहीं पता, उसने बताया नहीं अभी तक। तो बोल मैनेजर ने हाथ जोड़े और बोला कि ये सब हमारा एआई का प्रेडिक्शन है, हमने कुछ किया नहीं है। हमको लगता है कि ये मेडिसिन, ये टैबलेट, ये जो लगता है वो 3 महीने में लगता है, 6 महीने में लगता है, जो भी नॉर्मल जो लगता है लेडीज, तो हमको लग रहा है कि शी इज प्रेग्नेंट, दैट्स व्हाई वी थॉट कि इट्स अ कांग्रेचुलेटरी मैच। तो उसको शांत करके घर भेज दिया। 2 दिन बाद वो आदमी वापस आया और बोला थैंक यू, माय डॉटर इज रियली प्रेग्नेंट, आई केम टू नो लेटर। सो ये टाइप की चीजें भी हो रही है। बिकॉज ऑफ एआई आवर प्राइवेसी इज टोटली एनक्रोच and we are also allowing it because whatever apps we have on our phone, all our data is getting captured. Our microphone is constantly on. So if you keep talking about I want to buy something, I want to buy a laptop, I want to buy television, then automatically you will start getting the ads on your mobile, on your laptop, because Google and all other these apps are collecting data. So that whenever now you install any new app, it asks you, right? Can we share the data across the app and allow us or no? Yes or no? You have to say yes or no. Now we all are saying yes most of the time. So any cross application data sharing is happening between all these applications. So everybody is using our data and using our data to sell to the businesses and make our lives better and better. So if that continues, then it's very good. But if somebody in right or wrong hand it goes, then that's really will be a concern. So that's where I will stop now. Thank you once again.
थैंक यू सर। सर आपने बहुत सुंदर उदाहरणों का प्रयोग करके और सारी बात को एकदम क्रिस्टल क्लियर किया, जो हम जैसे नॉन आईटी बैकग्राउंड वाले लोगों को भी बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आई।
थैंक यू वेरी मच
so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite chief guest of today's event, Professor Bijon Kumar Mishra ji, international consumer policy expert. Sir is honored by WHO and he is RJS PBH advisor. I would like to hand over this platform to you, sir, for sharing your wisdom with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti ji. Thank you very much for moderating the show today, and you're doing it in a very excellent manner. I would like to first thank also Uday Manna ji for inviting me to be the chief guest on this occasion and taking our mission forward, which you all would have read in the present March edition of the Aware Consumer, how in-depth interview we took of Sandeep ji. And today we are very proud that Sandeep ji agreed to be with us to not only address us and give us his thoughts in a more elaborate manner, because in print we may not have been able to collect all what he was wanting to tell us,
right,
as a key speaker on the magazine. But I think the readers who have joined today on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, I feel very proud that they are true followers of the Aware Consumer or becoming an Aware Consumer. So I'm very happy that we have a good number of people who are attending today. I first would definitely like to, before I start my presentation, I'd like to recognize 3-4 people who are with us in a midnight, burning the midnight oil, which is Professor Ramaiah from US, Rajan Verma from US. I do not know where Partho is today. He's a global person. So even Partho, who has joined us, and of course, many.
I'm here.
You're in India or you are overseas? That's what I wanted to understand.
Bijan. Yeah, thanks, Bijan, for welcoming me. I'm very much in Bangalore.
Oh, very good.
And I'm enjoying the webinar. It's awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what I want to tell you all before I start is Sandeep ji is on a different urgent mission. And he would leave at around 12:15. Am I right, Sandeep ji? Or are you giving us a grace time and ready to be with us for some more time?
Maybe 15 minutes more. That's fine.
Okay, 12:30.
Yeah.
12:30. So we are now at 11:40. I would not like to miss the opportunity of my participants first to ask questions to Sandeep ji before he leaves. But I would definitely like to kick off with a few thoughts. And I'm going to be there till you people are there because as you can observe, I'm actually having my lunch while talking to you all. So I can skip the lunch for as long as you all want. But I would like to be there as long as you all want. And what I want to tell you all are two small stories. One was when I was invited to address the 9th standard students in Delhi in an international school run by US Embassy. And when I addressed them to talk about renewable energy and what is photovoltaic cells, and when I told them to write few things, I found their spellings in English was atrocious. I asked those students that how come you people are writing wrong spellings in English? And all of them said, sir, because you did not allow us to use the spell check. So what I want to tell you all is, what I learned from the students was that they don't want to use their productive time in doing certain things which somebody else can do for them. And they want to learn English only to understand how to communicate rather than looking at the spellings. So that was my first lesson I learned, that how technology can become an enabler to students who want to spend more productive time in doing some more productive activity rather than spending time on spellings, because they want to communicate. They don't need to understand that they need to check their spellings because there's already a software which will do that for them. So that was the first lesson around 25 years back in Delhi. I learned when I addressed the international students of a US Embassy school run in Delhi. The second experience I want to share with you all is when I used to attend meetings of the government as a consumer representative for bringing technology in the banking sector about 30 years back. All the trade union leaders used to oppose in that meeting not to go for computerization. They would always vehemently oppose. And I, as the sole person representing the consumers there, would vehemently agree with the government that we need to go with technology and we have to give tools and techniques and modern technology to the staff in the banking industry to make them more efficient and effective. And you will not believe, we went on, and of course, as you all know, we didn't have to look behind. Technology came into the country in a very big way, and today, wherever we are, it is only because of technology. The whole world recognizes India because we have talented people who know how to use technology. You won't believe that after 1 year, when I met the same trade union leaders to discuss and review about how technology is being used, most of the trade union leaders complained to me saying, हमको कंप्यूटर चाहिए, हमको नहीं मिल रहा है. हमको कंप्यूटर नहीं दिया जा रहा है, जबकि हमको चाहिए. हम उन लोगों से पूछे कि क्या हुआ शर्मा जी, आप तो vehemently डिसएग्री कर रहे थे, अभी आपको क्यों चाहिए? What is making you accept this? So they said that, sir, काम आसान हो गया है टेक्नोलॉजी आने के बाद. लोग परेशान कर देते थे in terms of updating the password. लोग परेशान कर देते थे in terms of getting to know their balance updated. अब हम लोग आसानी से कंप्यूटराइजेशन के बाद से केवल उनका अकाउंट नंबर डाल देते थे और प्रिंट आउट निकल आता था, हम लोग कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता. तो इसलिए हम चाहते हैं कि कंप्यूटराइजेशन और जोर शोर से होए और सबको मिले कंप्यूटर. Now what I want to convey to you all is technology. I always found as a consumer activist for the last 40 years is one of the biggest enabler. You know, they are already using AI to summarize our meeting today. I like it. You see, what I want to tell you all is technology is one of the best friends of the consumer. Provided you use it as a friend, you don't use it as an enemy. Unfortunately, to make quick money, to profiteer, not profit, to profiteer, people use technology to violate the ethics of business, to make money out of the consumer who is ignorant, who is helpless, who is not aware, who is not knowledgeable, and makes them pay for something which has no value, like a misleading advertisement or a deceptive advertisement. So there are a number of ways where we can use technology, especially artificial intelligence and machine learning, to enable today's consumer in India who lives in remote locations, in villages, who cannot read and write, to be able to be taught in his own language, which he wants, in the manner he gets most empowered. And I know we are all working towards that, and I'm sure government will support us in working towards that. I'll give you some small, again, examples. The biggest example is I have agreed that I should not be disturbed on my phone with messages which I do not want. So I give an acceptance on DND. Even after my acceptance, I still get messages. That is where the telecom company needs to be brought in under regulation that mandatorily they have to use AI to ensure that the DND comes into existence. It is not only on paper. Similarly, if I have to get a resolution in 45 days on my complaint made before the district commission or the state commission or the national commission or the Supreme Court, then I must get my resolution in 45 days. And I am sure if we use AI in a responsible and fair manner, we should be able to achieve that target very comfortably and easily with the help of talented people, talented youths, talented students in our country who will work towards that. I'm very happy to inform you that as an advisor to Government of Odisha, we have an institute called State Institute of Consumer Awareness. This is where I would appeal to Sandeep ji that he should align with us to help young students and youths of Odisha, to help them to learn about AI and machine learning, how it can be used in the interest of the consumers. We would start from Odisha because I owe a lot from that state, because I was, even though I was not born from Odisha, I was born in Jamshedpur. And I would close by saying, and of course, as I said, we have limited time. We need a lot of questions to be answered by Sandeep ji. A lot of my prominent friends are here who are very intellectually with very high capacity. I would like to end by saying my first experience was at the assembly line of Tata Motors, which was those days known as Telco in Jamshedpur, because I was born and brought up there and I lived there for 43 years. When I visited the assembly line of Telco, which is today Tata Motors, it was an experience, let me tell you. It was an experience. And that is where I first understood what machine learning is, what technology is, and how technology can be used to make people productive, accountable, and transparent. You see, in the assembly line, when I visited, if the worker is not attentive, like Sandeep ji, you gave the example of a robot. I'm talking about, the assembly line, as you know, the assembly line doesn't stop. It keeps moving. And everybody is assigned one job to be done within few minutes. And if he doesn't do, he misses it. And the only person who catches that missing catch is the person at the end who finds out that there's a defect in that truck, which needs to be rectified. And it goes into a rectification separate line. What I want to tell you all is that machine learning, artificial intelligence, technology improves productivity, improves transparency, improves accountability, provided we use it in a fair and a responsible manner, which is the theme of the World Consumer Rights Day of 2024, which we celebrated on 15th of March. I was in Bhubaneswar celebrating it on behalf of the government of Odisha. But what I want to tell you all that we celebrate this day only to remember that there are certain rights of the consumers which needs to be acknowledged in a responsible manner. And when I talk about fair and responsible artificial intelligence for consumers, I always want to say that the technology has to be transparent, has to be accountable, has to be made sure that it doesn't compromise on quality, safety, and the consumer is supreme. So with these few words, I would like to close in today's conversation, but I am there to answer any questions which my friends want. And I want all my friends, starting from Dr. Ramaiah, who is so much grooved with, promoting solutions to rare disease patients globally, that I'm sure Dr. Ramaiah will help us in moving forward with his questions and his anxieties. Rajan Verma, who is again in US, very strong consumer activist who has always been supporting us. So Rajan, we would like to hear from you. And of course, Partho, I would recommend, Partho, that we should consider inviting you again, like Sandeep ji and others, and Ramaiah ji, whom we want to invite. So Uday Manna ji, one session with Partho we should have, where he will talk about his innovation, which he has done, which is a very interesting innovation. But unfortunately, it has not taken off. But we are all working. We never give up, in life. We never give up. We keep smiling.
Thank you. Payal ji will coordinate with us.
Please.
Payal ji.
Please. So let's start with Ramaiah ji, because he is in his midnight, past 1 o'clock in the morning. Ramaiah ji, anything you want to ask?
Thank you for the opportunity. I've been patiently listening the keynote speaker presentation and your comments. They're really, really thought-provoking. Let me say two things. One, there is always change happens. If we still say that, our generation started with a technology where rocks were used to develop or use their own living things. But if you start opposing the new inventions for the betterment of the human beings, then we are doomed. So in the same sense, the artificial intelligence has to go further. That's one. Second, we should not forget there is another intelligence, that is natural intelligence. The artificial intelligence is a daughter or son or born out of natural intelligence. So there is something we will never, how we program the robot, will do whatever we want to do that. Just like human beings, if we develop or if we train our children, our society the way we want it, they will develop that way.
Yep.
Otherwise, the same thing, the consumers, in my opinion, should the artificial intelligence so far should be used to the betterment of the society or consumer, rather than just sake of artificial intelligence. It becomes sometimes I feel that it is becoming a buzzword rather than anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Rajan ji. ज्योति जी, हम आपको ये कहेंगे सबको कि you please raise your hands and technology wise raise your hands. Jyoti ji will call you all one at a time after I have requested my friends from overseas who have joined us. Rajan ji.
Sure, sir. So Purnima ji, ma'am.
Rajan ji, any questions? Rajan ji, any comments?
Sir, not a question, but yes, definitely I would like to comment. A topic that is very close to my heart, artificial intelligence, and being in IT industry and working in AI field itself. Definitely, this is something of my interest, and I've been very patiently listening to Mr. Raut, and I completely agree. Artificial intelligence is the boom right now. We have moved through industrial revolution, right from machinery to electrical, chemical, then digital, and now it is artificial intelligence. But yes, everything comes with a price. Yeah. As like Mr. Sandeep also mentioned, that artificial intelligence very much depends on the data. Data, we depend on the cloud, but cloud definitely, when we upload something onto the cloud, we don't know where those data are stored. We don't have transparency. As Mr. Bijon Mishra also mentioned, that technology should be transparent, but at the same time, with so much of revolution, the transparency is going away. Yes, we have everything at our fingertip, but yes, with the lack of transparency, that is there. But yes, definitely, this is helping a lot, and this is the future. I'll say changes are inevitable. Either you happily accept it, or otherwise you are bound to accept it. So we have moved right from machinery to digital. So artificial intelligence and machine learning also, everyone, if not today, tomorrow we are bound to accept this. So
I would just add here, the machine learning or AI, now we call it artificial intelligence, but since 90s we used to call it, data mining, machine learning, and now we are calling it artificial intelligence, because now algorithms have also evolved. At earlier times when we used to program, when I was to write some codes, we used to call data mining. So identify some sorts of data and then I'd find out some patterns in it. Same was done in COVID also, when you used to get those TV reports that this area is a red alert area, so many cases are coming up. That's data mining. So going on from data mining to artificial intelligence, just name change, but things have also evolved a lot. And that's really important to go forward, that people should really look at that as a positive impact and use it for the positive or betterment of the consumer or all, everyone who is the user of that particular thing. That's what I would say.
Very good, very good. Partho, please unmute and come. Partho. Unmute and come.
Okay. Very interesting stuff that I'm hearing from Sandeep ji and the others.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Just a couple of seconds I'll take to say what I do, what I've been doing for the past 30 years is that all of you all have been using this word data.
Correct.
My question is very simple, and I started asking this question in 1994. Whose data?
Mm-hmm.
Whose data? AI depends on whose data?
All the data which is collected by the machines.
Where is the data generated from?
All the apps. We are generating the data.
That is the point. You said hit the nail on the head. It is WE. We are the consumers. And the lack of transparency, as Bijon has said very clearly, is how our data is being captured.
Right.
How is it being stored? How is it being deployed to create wealth for a few?
True.
Good one. Good one.
Inequality. Data, see, we have digital divide, but big tech companies, including a lot of, I call them sheepskin NGOs, with big funding, etc. They are going and saying we are doing social marketing. We are getting into social entrepreneurship. Even what they're doing, the bottom line is they're picking up data from the market.
Right.
They are monetizing the data.
Absolutely.
And that is why you have the economic divide. As technology has grown, so has inequality.
Correct.
You get my point. I'm sitting in Bangalore right now.
Okay.
Where people can afford to buy any amount of tankers of water because they have the money to buy.
Okay.
In Bangalore, there are certain sections of society who do not have water and cannot afford to buy water. That is the divide or inequality that's happening right here in the Silicon Valley of India.
Yeah.
I was going to ask
my point.
The same thing. I was going to ask you the same thing, Partho. Are you able to access water or not?
No, fortunately, I'm living in a community which is well taken care of. But the truth is, outside, in the areas where so-called Bangalore is developing fast, or the urbanization, people don't have water. So coming back to the moot question, what I wanted to bring up and inform all of you is, in my 3 decades of research on monetization of consumer data, believe me, if consumer data is monetized transparently, every consumer can earn twice the value of their household expenditure every month, which means income security comes into play.
Wow. Yes.
And I can prove it to you. I've done, I'm a researcher and an educator. I'm not a businessman. So when Bijon said it hasn't taken off, I really don't care whether it is taken off or not.
I care because we are putting in a lot of resource to do that.
No. I know that. But the bottom line is what? You ask any researcher, a sense of achievement is when you develop and create a product that works.
Absolutely.
The system may not accept it because your product is an anti-establishment product. so I don't care.
We will dedicate one Sunday. We'll dedicate one Sunday.
Yeah, sure. Welcome. I'll end this for now and say that I've invented the concept of consumer profit to see that India goes from 131 in the Human Development Index to number 5, where its GDP ranking is.
Very good. Yeah.
So, thank you, Bijon.
Yes, so thank you, Sandeep sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sandeep sir, Ranjan sir, and Partho sir. As you can see, the forum is already open for question answer. We have Purnima ji. She has raised her hand.
Yes.
So over to you, ma'am. You can ask your question. Please unmute.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Mr. Bijon Mishra, for sending the invite and topic which is really very close to my heart. And I really want to find out what is happening in this field and how it is going to affect us. There are a couple of points which I would just like to add to what Mr. Sandeep Raut had talked about, where one thing is the biased part, what he was saying, the algorithm bias. Yes, I also say that. Suppose like I am searching for any information, the AI will throw me the results which are totally what I'm searching, and it will never give me the options which are the alternative products or the other type of things which can also be taken. Yeah. So it will lead me in a particular direction rather than telling me both the positive and the negative part. That is one drawback I felt. Second thing is, if the AI gets corrupted, then we don't know what is going to happen. So, and how things will take a turn. And yes, it is interesting. I'm from the insurance field, and definitely AI can be used in insurance in the way the medical part you were saying, the predictions and all those things. So that will definitely help us in maybe life insurance as well as health insurance in a big way. But yes, it has to be taken with a pinch of salt. And there may be a situation where, it should not lead to a situation where in normal life, a person starts liking the robot so much. Like, in fact, there are a couple of movies also on that, where I feel all the perfect wife that I want is a robot. So I marry a robot. In fact, one of the recent movies also has come. So such situation should not come, that AI replaces human and human emotions. as it is learning.
Purnimaji,
Yes,
you come from the insurance sector.
Yes, sir.
I tell my friends who have joined today, she has been a very active member in the ombudsman's process, insurance ombudsman's process, you see. And I had the privilege of working with her, and she's a very dedicated person. Purnimaji, you may not know, after I started advising the regulator of insurance, I tried to calculate. We are spending on an average almost about 30,000 rupees to resolve complaint.
Complaints, yes.
My contention is, why not I straight away give this 30,000 to the complainant, and rather than going through the rigmarole of the whole process and things like that. But at the end of the day, again, answering your question, and also Sandeepji, my question to you: how do we ensure that the biasness is not there? And where is that line where we have to draw? Because see, even if you make it mandatory, even if it is voluntary, there is a large element of ethics involved in it.
Right.
Now, how do we use AI or machine learning to empower the consumers to make an informed choice based on credible information? Because you see, what happens is, as I have been negotiating globally on various treaties and various standards, what I found was there is always a lobby or a group of people who engage scientists to write something which is in their favor. And we as consumer organizations, we are unable to get the resources which the government has got with them to come out with neutral and credible justification on certain policies. And invariably, we become slaves to such policies, which are primarily driven by the industry. So how do we overcome that in terms of AI and machine learning? And of course, in terms of, as you know, coming from the business school where I did my academics, we always did something called forecasting. We always did, a lot of algorithms in terms of understanding how a brand can work and how a brand cannot work. But again, we were always focusing on, and that is where I went to become a consumer activist, that how do we give the best return on investment to my shareholders, which is, of course, very important aspect, or to my investor. But forgetting that, the importance of the consumer who is actually buying the product or the service out of his hard-earned money. Nobody's talking about that person. And when you start talking about him, then you get sidelined and your innovation doesn't take off. So how do we create? And this is where I find India needs to show the leadership in the world, that how do we create? Because we are talking about Amrit Kal, we are talking about Ramayana, we are talking about our spiritual books today in a very big manner. Can we bring those essence in practical form? And where Jyotiji started her opening remarks, how do we engage to do that, which is very important. And I can again tell you that, I'll be very happy to do that starting from Uttar Pradesh, because it's one of the biggest states in the country. And it is being led by a spiritual leader, who always wants to preach spiritualism. And I am sure we as scientists or engineers, we can lead the way in Uttar Pradesh to show not only the country, but the world in terms of how ethics can be brought within AI and within machine learning. I would like to have your comments on that, because, you have limited time and there are many people who want to ask questions. I didn't want to lose this opportunity.
Sure. No problem. So I will take your first question. How do we remove the bias of the data or the algorithm or the AI, right? So first thing comes into the mind is data collection. It has to be from the variety of sources, not just one source. If you consider only one source of data, then sometimes machine gets habitualized to that data, and then we call it overfitting of the data. So machine will only take decisions based on that data and do the thing. सो जैसे बीच में गायतोड़े मैडम ने पूछा कि अगर कुछ मैं सर्च कर रही हूँ तो it is intentional from Google that you will get only the answer to the search engine, because that's how Google is making money. 99% of money which is Google earning from ads is because they are giving perfect, pages for the people who are searching for. So if I'm searching for laptop, I will not get the websites which are selling desktops.
Correct.
That's the ability. So in bias removing, first step is data collection. कि आप डेटा कहाँ से कलेक्ट कर रहे हो, कितना डेटा कलेक्ट कर रहे हो. दूसरी चीज आती है जब डेटा आ जाता है, अभी अपने पास डेटा आ गया, बट देन यू हैव टू प्री प्रोसेस डेटा, क्लींस दैट डेटा. वी कॉल इट क्लींसिंग, डेटा क्लींसिंग. जहां पे जो भी मिसिंग वैल्यूज है, जैसे अभी पोस्ट कोड नहीं है, पिन कोड्स नहीं है, या मिस्टर, और देयर कुड बी कस्टमर रिकॉर्ड. अभी एक मैंने प्रोजेक्ट डिप्लॉय किया था फॉर वन ऑफ द यूएस कस्टमर्स. दे आर अगेन हैविंग मल्टीपल सुपर स्टोर ब्रांचेस इन वेरियस स्टेट्स. नाउ एवरीवेयर व्हेन आई गो, आई गेट अ कस्टमर आईडी. Now it should be a same customer ID because I am buying one from this store and one from New Jersey store. But that doesn't happen because somewhere I get the customer ID based on Sandeep Raut. Somewhere I am getting S Raut. Somewhere I am getting Raut SR and so on and so forth. So if these kind of duplicates are there, they have to be reduced or removed. That is called as data pre-processing. Before we give data to the algorithm, the data has to be massaged and cleansed. Only then it will be useful for the machine or algorithm to work upon it. And that's why we call garbage in, garbage out. अगर हम लोगों ने गलत डेटा दिया तो गलत ही बाहर आने वाला है. So that's where it has to be data processing. The third is obviously the algorithm design, where obviously fair and unbiased algorithm has to be developed. The fourth step I can say is the testing and evaluation. The person who is developing the model has to test it thoroughly and validate it on the past data, so that they should check whether their model is working perfectly. And this typically we call champion model and challenger model. We used to call it champion model is the model which is giving you the near accurate results, around 80%, 75% the results are accurate. So whether this person will develop diabetes or already has a diabetes, if model is saying yes, but a person doesn't have, then it is a false positive. In algorithmic term, we call that way. So it has to be that way. The testing and evaluation has to be completely done 100% properly. And finally, then, as someone said, transparency and explainability. कि ये दोनों चीजें होनी चाहिए. जब उसका मॉडल का आउटपुट बाहर आ रहा है तो वो लेमैन को समझे, इस हिसाब से उसको प्रेजेंट करना चाहिए कि ये मॉडल का आउटपुट क्या है. जैसे कोविड के टाइम पे हमको बताया जा रहा था न्यूज में कि अंधेरी ईस्ट एरिया इज द हाई रेड अलर्ट एरिया, और दिल्ली का ये अमुक तमुक एरिया इज द रेड अलर्ट एरिया फॉर कोविड केसेस. So which is the data mining which was done, but अपने को वो अंदर क्या हो रहा है पता नहीं. It is a black box for us as layman people. The output is this area has most of the cases, so it is high red alert area. So that's how explainability has to happen, and how this conclusion has been arrived, that transparency has to be created or developed. That's what I would say on the bias of the data. Sir, second question आप थोड़ा सा repeat करेंगे तो अच्छा होगा.
I'm more keen that how do we as citizens, as consumers, we can engage with people like you all in creating such a position where we can counter the industry influence.
Acha, I mean, that is where, I mean, obviously we'll have to meet and discuss how we can engage together. Obviously, I'll be happy to, work with so many esteemed leaders who are here and understand what are their challenges, and I can guide, because I do keep doing these digital advisory services for corporate.
I'll give you a small example, which Dr. Jagga Shetty, who's joined from Bangalore, a former drug controller of Karnataka government, I know is an expert on drug quality.
Okay.
And I'm sure, people like Dr. Jagga Shetty and you and others can come out with solutions where all these issue in terms of counterfeited medicines in the supply chain or substandard medicine in the supply chain, where consumers innocently are purchasing and are not getting the desired outcomes because of the data not being used in a proper manner. Dr. Chakashetty, will you unmute and come and give some suggestions to Sandeep ji?
Thank you, Bijon ji. I agree Sandeep's starting remarks. This is a boon or bane. I feel artificial intelligence neither boon or bane at present. When you consider both the side, it is there. The most important thing is two persons are involved in this. One is the person who feeds, program writer. He has to be proper, and to the program writer who feeds the information. Even as far as drug, if you take, there are a lot of misleading advertisements are coming. A lot of misleading, food and drug. These are the most two affecting, directly affecting on the health, both food and drug.
Okay.
In this case, it is very difficult to give and that is why I say the person who gives the information to, of course, here this one is good. Nowadays, you go to children, example, you told Bijon ji, you go to children, you ask them to tell 12 into 5 kitna hota hai. So immediately they will take a calculator and do it.
Yeah.
Missing. Happen like that. Higher things are okay. But basic thing itself is not there. And as far as drug field is there, where are the inventions, where are the research, and this one has happened? Any new drug medicine has come for in India. So decades together, there is no any new invention has happened in the medicine except this latest vaccine. Otherwise, nothing has come. Emergency, that is okay. And as far as the quality aspect is concerned of the medicine or food or whatever it is there, whether it is a substandard, spurious or counterfeit. Of course, in our India, there is no counterfeit. It is only in internationally counterfeit is there. Here we are having more stringent spurious, this one is there. But that how it has to be done? It has to be integration is required. And ours is a democratic country. All the 28 states are having their own different this one. Though the act and rules are single, there is a centralized act and rules, but there is a views are different. Implementation, law implementation, everybody will feel different opinion. That should not be there. There should be common, uniform implementation should happen. So for that purpose, how it has to be used in intelligence, artificial intelligence, it is necessary. Not that it is not necessary. It is necessary. Again, it has to be done in proper way. The person sitting in the helm of the affair in the government affairs. Example, I will tell you e-pharmacy. Simple example. During COVID, e-pharmacy has helped a lot of people through delivery.
Absolutely.
But still, somehow, some background, this one they have kept in cold storage since 5 years. Though the draft had come since 5 years. In one of the court case, I appeared along with this one. The magistrate asked, where is the control of the mode of the delivery? You tell me in the act. Nothing was there. Nothing is there as in today. As far as e-pharmacy is concerned, only two things are required. Existing rules are okay, in my opinion. One is prescription. Nowhere it says that original prescription has to be produced. Whether you want a prescription, Xerox copy, photocopy, which is very bad, or you want electronic prescription, you have to define. And then prescription is not defined in any of the act, including our drug act, medical act, nowhere it is defined.
Sandeep ji has got very limited time.
Yeah, just 1 minute. And
so,
then
there are other people who are waiting to...
These are the things that have to be taken care of by artificial intelligence. Then it will be helpful to all the consumers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please raise your hand and ask your question because it's only another 15 minutes you will get.
RJS Observer Deep Mathur has their hand.
Deep Mathur ji, please come. Raise your hand, come. Deep Mathur ji, unmute and come, please.
Thank you very much. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. It's a very enlightening discussion, and I'm very happy that we are getting so much of enlightenment on the very important subject. But there is one aspect which I would like to be touched. That is how can this artificial intelligence enrich us spiritually. As we know that this evolution is very critical for ensuring that technological advancement contribute positively to societal and the individual well-being. So how can our artificial intelligence be used in the service of better world, our better spiritual knowledge? Because that is very vital for our human growth as such. Thank you very much.
Sandeep ji.
Okay, that is a big subject, I would say. One thing I can think of is spiritual. When you say it's all about mind, I feel what you think is what you get. We have seen that, we have heard about that. If you keep, crying about traffic jams and all the complaints, then you will get the entire day in the complaint. So similarly, if your mind is only thinking about positive thinking, then obviously your day will be good, and you will go to office or wherever your destination is. You will reach out there perfectly. So for spirituality, I would say there can be some AI apps which can come in and which can help people who have some kind of such problems. कि मुझे ज्यादा नेगेटिव थिंकिंग हो रहा है, मुझे ज्यादा गुस्सा आ रहा है, या मुझे ज्यादा डिप्रेशन आ रहा है, ऐसे जब लोगों को लगता है तो they can just open up the app and hear some music which is AI enabled to change the thoughts, change the world. That's what I would say. I'm not the expert on this area, but that's what I can think.
You have actually hit the nail on the head, and we should start thinking and innovating. We can help people who are under mental depression, who are going through great challenges. Technology can always become a big enabler. And as you rightly said, again, I bring all of you back to Jyoti ji. She has really started to conversation in a very positive note. And we have to start our day like that. Spiritually come through such practices. Jyoti ji, I can see two hands.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Satinder Suman ji, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
सत्येंद्र जी अनम्यूट करके आइए, और यदि आप अपना शक्ल दिखाना चाह रहे हैं तो नाइस, वी वांट टू स्माइलिंग फेस. निशित कुमार.
Nishit ji, yes, Nishit ji, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, perfect.
Sir, I read your remarks also on the box.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It was so enlightening to hear all of you, all the stalwarts under one platform. This is really amazing and truly, I would say, so informative. So since we are already running late, out of time, many people would like to leave. I have just one comment to make. There were concerns raised that how to tackle with the menace of artificial intelligence, especially with deep fakes and things like that happening all around.
Correct.
There is just one quick comment that I would like to make, and I will close, that natural stupidity and artificial intelligence, they are infinite. So we need to find a balance between the two, and that is how that we can tackle. And someone else, I think Professor Partha was saying that what is data? In fact, we are the data. We are the people who are keying in our details on the keyboard. The moment we press our thumbs, our fingers on the keyboard, we are exposing ourselves to the world. We're exposing ourselves to everyone around, the sharks. I'm not saying that all of them are fake and all of them are having malicious intentions or anything like that. But yes, we need to strike a balance between the two. Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good comment.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent comments. In fact, I was approached by some of the organizations in US where they want to come to India to tell to the consumers in India that out of their data, they can create a value and how to create it. But I was very suspicious about their credentials. So I didn't move forward with But I would like to move forward with people like Sandeep ji, Nishit ji. Please join with us to take this forward. How do we add value to the life of the consumers in India? And let's in India, which the world can talk about. So let's start from India.
Sure, sir. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Anybody else to any questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, may I ask one question?
Oh, yes,
yes, thank you, sir. As sir, today is World Consumer Rights Day. So, sir, my question is related to that what are the rights of a consumer to stop the misuse of artificial intelligence?
Well, that's I would say, government policy to be, applied on that. Somewhere I heard Shet Saab or someone said कि right मुझे क्या है वो पहले तो पता होने चाहिए, है ना? अगर वो मुझे मेरे राइट्स ही पता नहीं है, मेरी एप्लीकेशन डेटा सब एप्लीकेशंस में जा रहा है, इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू नो दैट, देन हाउ एम आई गोइंग टू stop it? So that is one thing. And then obviously every app or everything we do, we should have some anonymity. But going forward, ये जैसे मैंने पहले ही बोला कि privacy encroachment already हो गया है. Google knows more about me than I know about me. That's the reality. Every 30 days they will talk about where I have been all day, and पूरा मैप में मुझे दिखा सकता है कि मैं कहाँ गया, जो मैं कभी दिमाग में रखता ही नहीं हूँ. बट machines are keeping all that information and they are learning more about it. So,
can I come in here?
Yes, sir.
Sandeep ji.
Yes, sir.
It's a very simple, straightforward. Just now she asked about the right.
Correct.
First is right to ownership.
Yeah.
Who owns my data?
Correct.
Simple answer is I own my data.
I own, yeah.
Yeah. So the right that is derived from that ownership is my data for my profit, because data is my asset. Somebody called it, the data is the new oil. So if I have my own oil well, every drop of oil that comes out from my oil well has to be paid for.
Correct.
So I think the new right is my data for my profit. That's it.
Very good, sir. Thank you for pitching it.
Thank you.
Can I come in and add something what Partho said?
Yes, Mr. Sharma, it's great to have you. Please.
Thank you very much. I was listening carefully, and I would actually compliment Mr. Partho's ideas of monetizing the data of individuals. But I would just like to add to the information of all here that Google, for example, is being now made to pay for the data of the content creators in Australia.
Acha.
And in India, already the Competition Commission of India is looking into this aspect. Mm-hmm. I'm a competition lawyer, by the way. I'm M.M. Sharma.
I know you.
Law and consumer law are more or less synonymous. So Google is already being asked to pay for the data of the content creators in Australia. A law has been made. And in India, they are facing investigation to this effect. And the government is considering how to make Google pay for the content it uses. You see, so this is already a thing which is already going on. So it's not that individual, but the individuals have to fight for it. I agree with the Partho to this extent.
No, may I? Sharma ji, can I just take a couple of seconds, please?
Sure.
Again, I'll go back to saying that I own my data. When somebody takes my data, they have to pay for it, which makes me a consumer entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you become a consumer entrepreneur, it's not only you and me, but there are 8 billion consumers on this planet who can become entrepreneurs, which automatically creates a consumer profit industry. So consumers need to be educated in every front-end electoral district. Like there are 243 wards in Bangalore. Every ward, we have to educate the people that your data is your property, and your property can be monetized like any other property, real estate, etc. And once that awareness starts from even a few households, right, it'll spread like wildfire. Because just imagine that you give your data means I give my shopping list to a supplier who shares profit with me. And if the existing suppliers like Jio or Amazon or whoever it is doesn't give, new entrepreneurs will spring up and say, sir, I will give you. I'm setting up an e-commerce platform. Here is the source price. Here is the MRP. 50 after expenses, 50% yours, 50% mine. Let's start.
Correct.
It's as simple as that.
I completely agree. But may I like to respond to Mr. Partho? You see, that is what I call monetization of the data.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
That's going on. It is not something new. It is already going on. There are groups who sell data. That's how the Amazon has been doing it. That's why Amazon has been doing it. Please, it's all antitrust is developed much ahead of our thinking. Antitrust is developed much ahead. In fact, in US, Lina Khan is after Amazon for this reason only. They are selling the data, and they are selling it all.
No, Sharma ji, they are selling. They are selling your data.
We are dedicating one Sunday, as I said, to have.
Oh, sure. Okay.
No,
my time is getting up, so
yeah. Sandeep ji.
The important aspect of the consumer rights. And I agree to the extent that the consumer must be made aware and how to monetize their data. The problem is, for that we need people, experts like Sandeep. We need experts like Sandeep ji.
Like you to join us one of the Sundays when we are having this conversation, and we will get into at length discussion to find a solution. We will try to work towards that. Our mission is to empower the Indian consumers. Our mission is to bring the smile on the face of the consumers. So Jyoti ji, can you give a goodbye to Sandeep ji? And of course, we will stay on while Sandeep ji has to move on.
Thank you. Sorry, extremely sorry about this. But...
Please, sir, don't say sorry. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir. And we are very grateful you have sparing the valuable time for your busy schedule, sir. And looking forward for some more sessions, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Absolutely. I have given my email ID and phone number. So whoever wants to even...
We will be in touch.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
मेरी तरफ से भी बहुत थैंक यू और आभार संदीप राउत जी. आपके आने से काफी फ्रूटफुल रिजल्ट मिलेगा, क्योंकि इसको हम लोग YouTube पे लाइव कर रहे हैं और इसकी रिलीज भी जारी करेंगे आज शाम को. थैंक यू सर.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandeep ji.
Bless you all. Thank you very much. Bye.
Let's come to the similar name called Sudeep Sahu ji. Sudeep ji.
अच्छा. Thank you. Bye bye.
नमस्कार जी. मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि बेंगलोर में जो है अभी एक वाटर क्राइसिस पैदा हो गया है कि 1200 से ज्यादा पानी के जो स्रोत हैं, ट्यूबवेल जो हैं, वो सूख चुके हैं और वहां राशनिंग की जा रही है पानी की. ऑफिस भी बंद किए गए हैं. तो क्या AI का इस्तेमाल इस वाटर क्राइसिस को रोकने के लिए नहीं हो सकता है? क्योंकि वहां पे सरकार ने जिस जगह तालाब थे वहां पे सड़कें और स्टेडियम बना दिए, तो निश्चित ही रूप से सरकार ने नुकसान किया. और जो इसके जिम्मेदार लोग हैं, क्या वो दंडित किए जाएंगे? AI का इस्तेमाल इस बारे में क्या कर सकते हैं? प्लीज इसके बारे में बातचीत कीजिए.
Will somebody like to respond?
Would like to respond.
Yeah, please, Partho.
The gentleman's name is, sorry, I couldn't.
Sudeep Sahu.
Acha. Mr. Sudeep Sahu, I'm not very good with Hindi. Can I reply in English?
You can speak in English. I understand.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So you must analyze the problem as that when there is water, it comes at a certain price. When there is no water, the consumer gets the same water at a premium price. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So what we do is we first understand the premium. Now this is called black marketing of water. Now, when you address that particular problem, that if you are paying earlier 10 rupees and now you are paying 50 rupees, how is the government, which has failed in delivering water at 10 rupees, despite 70 years having gone by, how will that gap of 40 rupees, which the consumer is paying extra, be given by the government? Because the failure is on the part of the government. So the moment you want to use data, which is a consumer's data in terms of the price that he was paying earlier or she was paying earlier to the current price, and then to analyze that data, you need AI. So AI plays a very important and very crucial role in understanding black marketing of water. And the moment you address that issue, the consumers will support you, because here you are a person who understands the problem of the consumer. Problem is not only not having water. Problem is it is adding insult to injury. Not only asking me to pay more to the tanker walas, but but also not getting enough water, or maybe getting even dirty water from the tankers.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you must address what really hurts the consumer, and always address the money part of it. The money that the consumer is paying for inflation, for tomato prices, onion prices, water price, whatever it is. If you address the economic interest of the consumer, you'll have the consumer's support, and then the consumer will pay you for the AI application that he or she needs to understand his or her own losses. So at the end of the day, you have to create a profit and loss account for the consumer. That's my suggestion.
कंज्यूमर ही तो नहीं समझना चाहता है कुछ भी, वो
एजुकेट करना
चाहता है
पड़ेगा
कि ऐसे ही चलता रहे, हजारों रुपए खर्च करता है पानी का, हजारों रुपए खर्च करता है पानी के ऊपर.
Because then we go to another problem called consumer education, where Mr. Dr. Bijon Mishra is an expert. Consumer education is flawed.
Yes.
Consumer education should be in the main syllabus from school.
Yes.
You can't have it as a separate consumer awareness, etc., etc. That's wrong. We are all consumers. We pay taxes and we pay for the profits of all the corporates. तो उसमें हमारा भी शेयर होना चाहिए when you are taking my data. तो असली चीज बात करना पड़ेगा ना. हम इधर उधर घूमते हैं चारों तरफ, लेकिन असली चीज नहीं बोलते हैं. असली चीज ये है, मुझे ज्यादा पैसा चाहिए, मेरा डेटा आप बेच रहे हो, मैं नहीं बेच रहा हूँ, मुझे बेचना चाहिए, मुझे प्रॉफिट मिलना चाहिए, बस.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Ramji bhai, sir, please unmute yourself. You have raised the hand.
Bijon sir, I am little late. Hello?
No, you are not late. You are on time.
And certainly I am busy with these two ministers contesting Lok Sabha election from my constituency.
Ramji bhai.
Mr. Mandav, Health Minister Mandav.
Ramji.
So this is the problem. I am little late. I am giving my best. I am giving my best wishes to you only.
Thank you.
Carry on.
Thank you very much.
Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say two things. One is just repeat a story about everyone would have heard this and read in some time back. It is about Garry Kasparov when he lost to Deep Blue the computer long back in 1997. He was sulking, and being a chess international master and such a great chess champion, he was thinking that how could he lose to the computer. So thereafter he wrote a book. It is called as Deep Thinking, and he says that this computing and AI and all these computers are there to make you powerful. So that's number one. So whether it is the consumer or somebody else, this AI has to be embraced, and it has to be embraced to make ourselves powerful. Now, through forums like this, we have to, we are looking at how to make a consumer powerful. Now, consumer can be made powerful by, realizing or helping him out in not only in his consumer choices, but also in the other aspects which we have been discussing as to how to monetize this data and so many other things. So there are many projects which can be taken up by forums like this, or at least supported by forums like this. One is, as you are totally aware, that consumer choices, more often than not, the consumer does not know where to go. So we can have a one-stop platform, or a platform like, like we have these campaigns like Jago Grahak Jago. It can be digitally aided campaign where at least in the area of interest, especially healthcare or insurance or something like food, which is very imperative and which is very important, we help the consumer who are subscribing to us to make a correct choice or give him the correct information. So that's one of the campaigns, or a digitally aided campaign, which we can start. Number two, I also wanted to add a bit of thing for the water crisis. You see, the computer or the AI, the real power of AI is big data and how to process this big data in a faster way to get the better results. So not only we can track things, but also we can see the big problems which the society has created, which the mankind has created over the years. This water scarcity is having not only image interest of the water mafia, what people are talking about, but it is also happening because of the wrong decisions which we have taken over the years. So how to improve the groundwater, how to do the water regeneration. So all this can be done through AI very comfortably. This modeling can be done easily. So that these are the projects which are to be initiated, or we have to make campaigns as an aware consumer or as an aware forum to solve these problems which have been created by us only. So over the years, our greed has led us to these problems, and now we have to use technology.
Dr. Sishir,
we have to use technology
to
at least come to some solutions for this.
Yeah, Dr. Sishir, give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. You see, the problem is that we have to find a solution to engage ourselves in a effective, efficient manner by way of getting the resources. You know, overseas I've seen all such activities are being done through public participation and their contribution. Today, you know, if I go for a public interest litigation on what is going on in Bangalore, and I want a court directive to do that, either a very known, credible, practicing lawyer has to go before the Supreme Court to get a directive, or somebody who has the resources to pay for it to go and represent on behalf of the citizens. We don't see much of participation of the citizens in such activities, nor the citizens are prepared to give donations or some resources to make such activities an institutionalized activity. See, my problem is that I always feel that even if we are able to reach in a small manner, like in today's conversation, say we reached out of 50 people. Now, how this 50 can multiply into 500 to 5,000 is not happening. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, people don't have, now Sudhir ji will agree with me that we all discuss, but then we don't come into practical solutions which will enable the ordinary consumer.
So this will.
So we have to go in a very institutional.
So one of the suggestion I have.
Yeah. So
one of the suggestion I have is, if you want to usher in projects like this, if I may suggest that we should start a fund which is a crowdfunding fund.
No, we have been talking about
source
it.
These.
No, Shishiji, we have been talking about it. We have been talking about. Now let's.
So crowdsourcing.
So let's make it happen. You see, my contention is, let's make it happen. Don't wait for Bijon Mishra to do that. You do it. Bijon Mishra is with you. You see, what I want to tell you is this. Now, that is exactly what I want to convey to all my friends here. You see, don't expect Bijon Mishra to do everything. You please go ahead and do something where I can join you and support you. Where I can join you and support you, like we are doing for the positive media campaign. You see, because Uday Manna ji started this campaign, we have joined it. And we are taking it forward every Sunday. And that's how we have been able to reach 214th episode. It's not easy. Somebody has to do it, you know, and that is where we need people who are champions. And I can see, again, Purnima ji has raised her hand, and Yamini ji, Professor Yamini Tripathi, is one of the, past head of the Department of Ayurveda in Banaras Hindu University, and is a practicing Ayurveda now. He's having a clinic in Banaras. So, Purnima ji, if you agree, we'll listen to Yamini ji first and then we come to you. Yamini ji, please come.
Yes. Good morning, sir. It is a very good meeting, and I want to tell one thing. As you are the chairperson of a committee for including Panchakarma Ayush practices in the insurance section. And I would like to offer a solution that if we start collecting the prescription of all these Ayurvedic doctors who are recommending Panchakarma, then the old prescription, before they prescribe Panchakarma practice, that will give an idea by AI support whether the patient really needs Panchakarma or it is only doing for spa practices. Because the insurance companies are not ready to pay for spa practices, they are ready to pay for the patient treatment. But the doctors are.
Namiji, let me tell you the real story. For 70 years, we have been struggling to institutionalize prescription audit in India. We wanted to institutionalize prescription audit in India. And the regulator, the law prescribes it. Let me also tell you that. The unfortunate thing is the regulators are not implementing prescription audits and not coming out with reports in terms of, bogus prescriptions being given to the consumers who have total faith in the healthcare delivery system of the country and all the medical practitioners, including the Vaidyas. What I want to tell you is that the Vaidyas have to come forward to do the prescription audit. Why don't you start from Banaras?
No, sir. I am saying not the Vaidyas. One of the participants has suggested it is the consumer who has to come forward. We, the patient, should be motivated to upload our prescription on a forum. If the Vaidyas are not doing, let the consumers do it.
This is the right time to start from Banaras.
I will start.
To make a proposal, I will make sure you get the resources to do that. You start. Okay. You start some.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I will start and let you know, sir.
Yeah, and Purnimaji, please come.
Yes, sir. We were talking of this data ownership thing. I'm sure this matter is there in the notice of the government also, and the Digital Personal Data Protection Act has already been in place, and I think more and more amendments are coming as the experiences are happening. So that is one area where the consumer also should be aware that there is something which supports us.
So let's rally behind Partho to help him to take it forward.
Yeah.
You have to unmute and come, Partho.
Bijon, despite all that every government does, every government has very, very good intentions, and we respect that. But despite what happens, we still have a large section of our community, almost 80 crores, who need free food grains. They're all consumers. Now, the point I'm trying to make is shift from government to industry. Whatever you're talking about, data ownership, data monetization, data, data privacy, etc., do not leave it to the government, because the government needs to carry everybody along. And that is very, very big. But if you do it under an industry umbrella, everybody is free to do industry. Everybody is free to do entrepreneurship. Everybody is free to start an enterprise. That is privatize the entire initiative of data management for the consumer. And you'll reap such benefits, because the big divide in the digital divide or economic divide is happening because the big tech is taking away all the money. The government cannot counter it. But if you create an industry which says very specifically that this industry, like the IT industry, like the steel industry, like the telecom industry, is a consumer profit industry, then you see it will catch like wildfire, because the consumer can see the profits. If profit is good for business, profit is good for the consumer. Just understand that, and everything will be solved.
That is exactly what I'm trying to say, that we have to learn the model from you. That model needs to be discussed in one of the Sundays, and then at least the 50 people plus who join on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, coming away from their family and putting their time on such conversations, that is what builds the equity. And this is where we need to start. So I am trying to say that, Partho, let us start. This is the right time where, the theme is fair and responsible artificial intelligence for consumers. And let us take this forward in this year of 2024 to promote that enterprise which you have been talking about. And let's understand how we can move forward.
Not talking about, I've been researching.
Yeah, researching. Yeah.
One last thing, Bijon. One last thing. I must share it with you. You're a well-wisher and a great, supporter. I just want to tell you that just for a moment, I took my eyes off research and said, let me do what Bijon says. We take Bijon's words seriously and say, get started. And I've done it. And believe me, in my first 1 week, that is last week, I got 2 franchisee kind of people who says we will operate RTI compliant bank accounts. Can you believe it?
Very good. Excellent. Excellent.
So that's a start. That's a start.
All examples. And, when we have got people like, Dr. Shishir, Praful Bhai and others, Deepchand ji, and many more who are today here, Professor Ramaiah, Mr. Rajan, who is already into the IT business in US, Uday Manna ji, who is an expert in communication and media. So we have all talented people in this group.
Yes.
Go ahead. So
and I'm on LinkedIn, so everybody can see my profile there.
Back to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you all the participants for asking thought-provoking questions. And thank you all the experts for answering them very patiently. So before we concluding today's event, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the tremendous effort and dedication of our event organizer, Uday Kumar Manna ji, founder and national convener of RJS PBH, RJS Positive Media nationwide to worldwide Positive Media Network. Without his tireless work behind the scenes, this event would not have been possible. Uday Kumar Manna ji has played a crucial role in ensuring that every aspect of this event, from planning to execution, has been carried out so seamlessly. Now, I would like to invite Manna sir to this virtual platform to deliver the vote of thanks and share their reflection on today's discussion. Please join me in welcoming sir with a great round of applause. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Jai Hind, Dr. Jyoti Tiwari ji, Assistant Professor, Army Institute. और आप सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, सबको मेरा दिल से आभार है और सकारात्मक पत्रकारिता से भारत निर्माण, विश्व निर्माण, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात हो रही है और इन बातों को जो आधार देते हैं वो प्राण हैं हमारे प्रोफेसर बिजॉन कुमार मिश्रा जी। और यहाँ पर जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के जो फादर हैं, जो जनक हैं, टेक्निकल टीम ने शेयर किया है जॉन मैकार्थी, जिनका 4 सितंबर को जन्मदिन हुआ और 24 अक्टूबर 2018 को आप इस दुनिया से चले गए। लेकिन आपने जो सकारात्मक कार्य किया है, ये आज, अभी तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक बच्चा है, लेकिन आप जानते हैं कि चाइल्ड इज द फादर ऑफ द मैन। तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि हर फील्ड में आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आने जा रहा है। इसलिए अपनी जीवन से अगर आप कोई फ्यूचर बनाना चाहते हैं तो द डे वन लोगों को सोचना पड़ेगा कि हमें आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को अपने जीवन में कैसे पॉजिटिव वे के साथ, पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग के साथ, और सरकारों का रोल इसमें बहुत गहरा आने वाला है। इसलिए माहौल बनाने के लिए जो ये द अवेयर कंज्यूमर ने बीड़ा उठाया है, वो वर्ल्ड कंज्यूमर राइट के दिन रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है। ये हर वसुधैव कुटुंबकम जब कहते हैं तो जहां चर्चा हो रही है कि ये चीज नहीं मिल रही है, वो चीज नहीं मिल रही है, तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का कैसे हम सभी कंज्यूमर्स आज इस वर्ल्ड कंज्यूमर डे राइट डे के अवसर पर शपथ लें कि हम स्वयं ही बीड़ा को उठाएं, किसी और पे न डालकर आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के लिए एक माहौल बनाए। क्योंकि कंप्यूटर जैसे आया था तो बहुत हो हल्ला हुआ था, लेकिन कंप्यूटर पूरी जिंदगी में, एक आम जिंदगी में प्रवेश कर गया। उसी तरह से आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस भी है। लेकिन जॉन मैकार्थी के बारे में चर्चा करना चाहेंगे कि ये कैसे अमेरिका के कंप्यूटर के जो वैज्ञानिक थे, काफी रिनाउंड थे, और आज भी मैकार्थी को जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के लिए संस्थापक माना जाता है, उन्होंने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को गढ़ा, एआई शब्द को गढ़ा। तो इतनी ही बात हम करेंगे कि कैसे उन्होंने इस शब्द को गढ़ा, ये जनरल नॉलेज का क्वेश्चन है। और हमें आगे इस चीज को सदुपयोग कैसे करें, ये कहते हुए मैं अब आज के जितने पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, जितने हमारे गेस्ट हैं, उन्होंने देश के लिए काम किया है, उन्होंने विश्व के लिए काम किया है, क्योंकि ये चीजें पब्लिक डोमेन में, क्योंकि हम लोग मीडिया वाले सकारात्मक पत्रकारिता कर रहे हैं, इसलिए हर विषय पर हम लोग चाहते हैं कि आप जैसे विशेषज्ञों के विचार अपनी कैपेसिटी में, इसलिए आप लोग जुड़िए और को होस्ट बनिए। जैसे कि द अवेयर कंज्यूमर को होस्ट बना, तो आज 2 घंटे तक हम लोग आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को, उन नई पीढ़ी, देखिए हरदम नई पीढ़ी पैदा हो रही है, लाखों लाख बच्चे पैदा हो रहे हैं, उन सबको नई नई चीजों की जरूरत होती है, नहीं तो वो गुमराह हो जाएंगे। तो एक सही तरीके से जो आरजेएस पीबीएच ने इसमें आहुति दी है, 2 घंटे का समय हर रविवार दिया जा रहा है, तो आप जरूर इस मंच पर आइए और खुद आगे बढ़िए, आप खुद डिजाइन कीजिए। जैसे प्रोफेसर बिजोन कुमार मिश्रा जी ने और प्रफुल्ल भाई ने ये किया था, और हम लोगों के साथ जो गुजरात यात्रा थी, प्रफुल्ल भाई साथ में रहे थे, रंजन बेन जी साथ में रही थी। तो हम लोग यात्राओं के माध्यम से भी करते हैं। और गांव जाने की बात है तो बीना जैन जी ने जो बात कही है उस पर हम लोग विचार करते हैं, यात्राओं में गांव में जाते हैं। वैसे तो दिल्ली में रहते हैं। अब देखिए, जो कुशक गांव है, वहां हम लोग बच्चों के लिए, करीब 80 बच्चे थे, वहां पर हम लोग नई शिक्षा नीति की, नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति की कम से कम 2 घंटे बातचीत की है वहां बच्चों के साथ। और यूट्यूब पे आरजेएस पॉजिटिव मीडिया, यूट्यूब पे केवल पॉजिटिविटी, नो नेगेटिविटी आपको मिलेगी। तो मैं आज के जो मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर बिजन कुमार मिश्रा जी, इंटरनेशनल कंज्यूमर पॉलिसी एक्सपर्ट, का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। प्रफुल्ल भाई, जिन्होंने ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स में ही बता दिया कि आज का प्रोग्राम जो है वो, उन्होंने एक पकड़ बना दी, हम लोगों के दिमाग की बत्ती जला दी। तो वहां से जो ग्राफ चला वो उत्तरोत्तर बढ़ता बढ़ता उत्कर्ष पर पहुंच गया। और जो संदीप रावत जी हैं, जो कि फाउंडर और सीईओ गोइंग डिजिटल के हैं, तो उनका जो 30 सालों का, अधिक सालों का जो अनुभव था, उन्होंने यहाँ पर शेयर किया। किसके लिए किया? वो नई जनरेशन के लिए। और चूंकि मीडिया इसमें जुड़ा हुआ है, शाम को रिलीज भी जारी होगी, तो कहीं ना कहीं हम लोगों की जो गांव-गांव तक पहुंचाने की बात हो रही है, तो अलग अलग राज्यों के पॉजिटिव मीडिया के ग्रुप जो है वो इसको पब्लिश करते हैं। आप लोगों तक जो लोग भेजेंगे वो पहुंच जाएगा। हजारों कॉन्टेक्ट लिस्ट है जिसमें भेजा जाता है। और आज के टेक्निकल टीम को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि उन्होंने जिस तरह से इन चीजों को पहुंचाने में अपना समय देते हैं, उनको दिल से आभार। और डॉक्टर ज्योति तिवारी जी ने तो कमाल कर दिया, क्योंकि बड़े शॉर्ट नोटिस पे, बल्कि 12 घंटे के नोटिस पे आप जो है यहाँ पर उपस्थित हुई। डॉक्टर अभिलाषा गौतम, जो प्रिंसिपल हैं आपके इंस्टीट्यूट की, आर्मी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एजुकेशन ग्रेटर नोएडा की, जो कि आरजेएस के फिजिकल और वर्चुअल प्रोग्राम में लगातार सहयोग देती हैं। तो डॉक्टर अभिलाषा गौतम जी ने डॉक्टर ज्योति तिवारी जी को सजेस्ट किया, और ज्योति तिवारी जी ने जो परफॉर्म किया, पहली बार वो इस मंच पर आई। तो ज्योति तिवारी जी, यही है आरजेएस फैमिली का राष्ट्र प्रथम, भारत एक परिवार, विश्व एक घर। तो मैं बहुत आभार व्यक्त करूंगा सभी लोगों का। द अवेयर कंज्यूमर ने जिस तरह से बीड़ा उठाया कि हर महीने एक कार्यक्रम जो है वो ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, को ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं। अगला प्रोग्राम भी 14 अप्रैल को एजुकेशन पर द अवेयर कंज्यूमर का होगा। और मुझे लगता है कि आप जितने पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, आप सभी 14 अप्रैल को नोट कर लीजिए। लेकिन ये चरैबेती प्रोग्राम है, यानी कि इस रविवार का प्रोग्राम तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पे हुआ, वर्ल्ड कंज्यूमर राइट डे पे हुआ, लेकिन अगला जो होली आ रही है उसको भी हम लोग दिलों को जोड़ने के लिए, दिलों से दिल मिलाने के लिए, साल भर के जो नाखुशी है उसको खुशी में बदलने के लिए हम लोग उपस्थित होंगे अगले रविवार 11 बजे से 12:30 बजे। इसका लिंक भी आपको उदय मन्ना फेसबुक लाइव पर और आरजेएस के ग्रुप में और सोशल मीडिया पर आपको भेजे जाएंगे। और होली फेस्टिवल, ये पोएट कॉन्फ्रेंस होगा। ये यूनेस्को द्वारा वर्ल्ड पोएट्री डे मनाया जाता है 21 मार्च को। तो चूंकि संडे को 24 मार्च है, तो उस दिन हम लोग होली के रंग में रंगने जा रहे हैं। और उसके साथ साथ आप जानते हैं कि हम लोग ट्रिब्यूट भी देंगे, रिस्पेक्ट भी देंगे। तो देते हैं, लगातार देते हैं, हजारों हजार स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों, महापुरुषों को दे चुके हैं। तो मैं आप सभी का करबद्ध कि आज का कार्यक्रम बहुत ही सफल रहा है, और जितने विद्वान लोग जुड़े आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हुए पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने जो सवाल किए हैं वो भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, चाहे पूर्णिमा जी हो, पार्थो जी हो, डॉक्टर जय शेट्टी जी हो, निशित कुमार जी हैं, MM शर्मा जी हो, संदीप साहू जी हैं, सुदीप साहू जी हैं, डॉक्टर शिशिर जी हैं, रामजी मवानी जी हैं और यामिनी त्रिपाठी जी हैं, और सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप लोगों ने देश के लिए काम किया है, विश्व के लिए काम किया है। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को लेकर हम लोग आगे भी आपसे मिलते रहेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
धन्यवाद सर, आपके बहुत सुंदर सकारात्मक शब्द और मुझे अपने परिवार में शामिल करने के लिए, हौसला अफजाई के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। As we come to the end of today's event, I want to take a moment to reflect on the valuable insights and discussion we have shared. For exploring the principles of fair and responsible artificial intelligence to discussing the role of consumers in shaping its ethical development, today has been a journey of enlightenment and empowerment. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers, organizers, volunteers, and audience members for their active participation, thoughtful contribution, and unwavering support. Your dedication has made today's event a truly enriching experience. As we conclude, let's remember that the conversation does not end here. Let's continue to advocate the fairness, responsibility, and ethical practices in artificial intelligence, both in our personal lives and professional lives. Together, we can make a beautiful difference and create a better future for all. Thank you once again for being a part of this important conversation. Wishing you all continued success and fulfillment of your journey. Goodbye and take care. Thank you so much. So thank you, sir.
सकारात्मक सोच को आओ सारे भारत में फैलाए, सकारात्मक ऊर्जा का आओ सब में संचार कराए। ऐसा ना हो कि हम अपनी जिम्मेदारी भूल न जाए, क्यों इंतजार करें हम किसी का, आओ एक मशाल जलाए। सकारात्मकता के उदय का चलिए हम उद्घोष कराए। RJS जय हिंद के नारों से अपना देश जगाए, RJS वंदे मातरम से सारी सरकार जगाए।